distract you, provoke you, and try to pull you into noise, but the one who stays calm wins. A calm mind isn't weakness. It's the highest form of control. You think strength is loud, but true power is quiet. When your emotions serve you, not enslave you, every storm becomes your opportunity. This is how warriors think, how leaders rise, and how you win by mastering yourself first. Chapter 1. Control yourself or be controlled. Approx. 1,050 words. Let anger, frustration, or fear take the lead, you lose ground. You give up control. You hand over your power. Every reaction you give away is a victory you hand to someone else. Think about that. Every time you explode, they win. Every time you panic, they win. Every time you let their words decide your mood, they own you. You can't control the world, but you can always control yourself. And that's the first rule of mastery: self before circumstance. The strongest people aren't those who dominate others. They're the ones who dominate themselves. Control is not about pretending you don't feel. It's about choosing how you respond when you do. You will feel anger. You will feel fear. You will feel doubt. But emotions aren't orders. They're signals. You decide what to do with them. You have a choice. That's the key. You can either react like everyone else or respond like someone in command. And those two paths lead to completely different lives. The reactive life is chaos. You let every problem dictate your peace. Someone insults you, you react. Someone disagrees, you defend. You don't own your emotions, they own you. And the result? You live like a puppet, not a person. But when you learn to control yourself, everything changes. Your life stops being about what happens and starts being about what you do with it. That's real freedom. That's real strength. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about caring selectively. It's not about being numb. It's about being focused. It's not about suppression. It's about discipline. Discipline means you feel anger and still stay composed. You feel fear and still move forward. You feel hurt, but you don't collapse. That's self-control. That's mastery. If you can't control yourself, you can't control your life. Remember that. Say it again and again until it burns into your mind. Because everything begins there. Every victory, every transformation, every ounce of peace you've ever wanted. Real power begins the moment you decide that no external event deserves your internal chaos. That's when the shift happens. That's when you stop chasing peace and start creating it. You want control? Then stop reacting to every wave that hits you. Let the world move around you, but don't let it move through you. You are the mountain, not the wind. You are the calm in the storm, not the storm itself. When someone tries to provoke you, don't take the bait. Don't feed their weakness with your energy. Smile, breathe, stay still. Let silence do what anger never can. You don't owe anyone your reaction. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to explain your calm. Your control speaks louder than any defense. That's how real power operates. Quiet, deliberate, undeniable. People will try to test you. They'll poke at your peace just to see if they can shake it. Don't let them. Their chaos is not your responsibility. Your peace is. You have to train yourself to pause, to think, to breathe. That moment between impulse and action, that's your edge. That's where your strength lives. The weak react instantly. The strong wait, assess, and respond. When you control that space, you control your life. Because in that space, you decide who you are going to be. Not angry, not scared, not desperate, just calm, focused, and in charge. Every time you hold your reaction, you build inner muscle. Every time you resist the urge to explode, you grow stronger. Control is like any discipline. It's built in repetition. Day by day, decision by decision, you can't fake it. You have to earn it. You earn it in the small moments when no one's watching. When you want to yell but stay silent. When you want to give up but stay steady. When you want to fight but choose to rise above. That's how you build power. Through restraint, through composure, through choice. You have a choice. That's the truth that most people run from. They say, "He made me mad. She ruined my day." No, you allowed it. You gave them permission. And the moment you realize that, everything changes. You take your power back. You stop being a victim of other people's emotions. You stop being a prisoner of your own. Because power isn't about control over others, it's about command over yourself. And once you own that, you become unshakable. You stop chasing validation. You stop defending yourself. You stop wasting energy on things that don't deserve your peace. You stop playing their game. That's when people notice something different about you. They can't provoke you. They can't predict you. They can't manipulate you because you've built something they don't understand. Emotional sovereignty. You don't need their permission to stay calm. You don't need their approval to stay centered. You don't need their apology to move on. You are in control. Understand this. The world rewards calm minds. Because calm minds make better decisions. They see opportunities others miss. They respond with strategy, not impulse. They don't burn bridges. They build empires. The reactive destroy their potential. The calm create it. Every great leader, every top performer, every disciplined mind understands this truth. Control yourself or be controlled. That's the rule of the game. That's the foundation of power. That's the mindset that wins battles before they even begin. So today, make a decision. A decision that from this moment on, no one else commands your emotional state. Not their words. Not their tone. Not their opinion, you do. You decide when to speak. You decide when to act. You decide when to stay silent. That's how freedom feels. If you can't control yourself, you can't control your life. Keep that line with you. Repeat it until it becomes instinct. Because when the next test comes, and it will, you'll need to remember who you are. You are not your anger. You are not your impulse. You are your choices. Control is the root of every transformation. It's what separates the disciplined from the distracted, the focused from the frantic, the powerful from the reactive. You are not here to be tossed by every storm. You are here to stand through it. Steady, grounded, calm. That's how you win every battle, by mastering yourself before the world even moves. You've taken your first step. You've learned that control is your greatest weapon. Now that you've mastered your reactions, it's time to go deeper. To understand that calm isn't weakness, it's precision. Calm is not weakness. Calm is precision. A calm mind is not empty. It's focused. It's sharp. It's disciplined. And when the world loses control, the calm one takes command. That's the truth. That's the key. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You don't need to react to prove you're strong. Because real power doesn't perform. It executes. Look at the best soldiers, the elite ones. When chaos explodes around them, they don't scream. They don't panic. They breathe. They assess. They act with surgical precision. Not because they don't feel pressure, but because they've trained to stay calm inside pressure. That's the difference. The average person reacts. The disciplined person responds. One is emotional. The other is exact. It's not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally intelligent. It's not about being passive. It's about being in position. It's not about pretending to be tough. It's about knowing you are. You have a choice. You can live as a reactor or as a strategist. You can explode when tested or calculate when challenged. Every moment gives you that choice. That's where calm becomes your weapon. Understand this. Calm is not what you do when everything is easy. Calm is what you maintain when everything is falling apart. It's not built in comfort. It's forged in crisis. That's why most people never master it. They mistake calm for weakness, so they never practice it. They chase intensity instead of discipline. They value noise over control. But calmness isn't about staying small. It's about striking smarter. A calm person can hit harder, think clearer, and last longer. Because energy that's controlled is energy that's powerful. You don't need to prove your strength by shouting. You prove it by staying composed while others lose theirs. You don't need to show your emotions to validate your pain. You show your power by carrying it quietly. You don't need their permission to be calm. You don't need their validation to stay composed. You just need discipline. That's the word people run from. Discipline. Because discipline requires sacrifice. It requires choosing patience when you want speed. Choosing thought when you want to react. Choosing focus when you want to flee. The calm mind chooses. The reactive mind obeys. And the one who chooses always wins. Think of a master archer. Before the arrow flies, there's silence, stillness, control. The calm before the shot is the shot. Every muscle locked, every breath measured, every thought aligned. Then release, clean, confident, precise. Now think of the opposite, the one who rushes, the one who flinches, the one who reacts. They miss every time. Because reaction destroys accuracy. Calm is accuracy. That's why it wins. When you're calm, you see. You hear, you notice. You pick up on things others miss. You spot the weakness. You sense the opportunity. You move when it's time, not when you're told. You become strategic, not spontaneous. You become focused, not frantic. That's how calm turns into precision. It's not about being slow, it's about being measured. It's not about doing less. It's about doing what matters. The calm mind doesn't waste motion. It doesn't waste words. It doesn't waste energy. It moves exactly when it should. You have a choice. You can keep living emotionally or start living intentionally. That's the key. Every time you react, you scatter your focus. Every time you pause, you gather it. One drains your energy. The other multiplies it. One makes you predictable. The other makes you powerful. The calm person isn't fragile. They're focused. They don't crumble under pressure. They crystallize. That's why elite performers train to stay calm under fire. They know panic kills. Panic clouds judgment. Panic burns energy you'll need later. You have to train your calm like a muscle. You have to practice it every single day. In small moments first. Traffic, arguments, disappointments, the little battles. Because if you can't stay calm in small fires, you'll collapse in a storm. When something irritates you, stop. Breathe. Observe the feeling. Ask yourself, does this deserve my peace? If the answer is no, let it pass. Because not everything deserves a reaction. That's the discipline. Emotional selection. You don't respond to everything. You don't fight every fight. You don't chase every opinion. You protect your energy like it's gold, because it is. That's how you move like a sniper in a world full of noise. Precise, intentional, silent. You don't waste bullets on everything that moves. You wait for your moment. That's calm. That's control. You want to win more? Then stop wasting energy on losing moments. Stop fighting battles that don't matter. Stop trying to prove points to people who don't matter. You don't need to be seen. You need to be still. Stillness is strength. Calmness is control. And control is everything. When you're calm, you stop reacting to pressure. You start applying it. You stop chasing attention. You start commanding it. You stop following chaos. You start directing it. That's the power of precision. And precision isn't random. It's trained. It's built through repetition, reflection, and restraint. Every time you resist the urge to react, you train your precision. Every time you listen instead of talk, you sharpen your focus. Every time you wait for clarity, you prepare for victory. You don't need their chaos. You need your composure. Calm is not weakness. Calm is strategy. Calm is patience. Calm is confidence in slow motion. Anyone can be calm when life is easy. But when you're calm in the storm, that's power. That's rare. That's leadership, because people follow calm. They trust it. They feel safe around it. They sense that you see what they can't. That's how influence works. Not through volume, but through presence. So remember this. You don't gain control by doing more. You gain control by being more deliberate, by speaking less and observing more, by breathing instead of breaking. Calm doesn't mean you stop moving. It means every move you make is intentional. It means every word you say has weight. It means you've stopped letting emotion drive and started letting discipline steer. That's your transformation. From reactive to precise, from emotional to intentional, from chaotic to calm, you have a choice. And that choice changes everything. Calm is not weakness. It's clarity under fire. It's composure under chaos. It's the mindset that separates the masters from the masses. So the next time you feel provoked, don't react. Refine, breathe, decide, move with precision. Because when you're calm, you're dangerous. And the world can't handle a person who can't be shaken. You've learned that calm is not the absence of strength. It's the purest form of it. But calm alone isn't enough. It's what you do with it that creates results. You need to direct that calm into control, into mastery, into action. You've built composure. Now let's turn that composure into command. But you are not ruled by them. That's the difference between chaos and control, between power and weakness, between being a master or a puppet. Your emotions were designed to inform you, not define you. They are signals. They are data. They are tools meant to guide your decisions, not dictate them. But most people, they let emotions drive the car, and that's why they crash. It's not about suppressing what you feel. It's about directing what you feel. You can't stop emotions from showing up, but you can decide what they get to build. That's the key. You have a choice. You feel anger? Use it to sharpen your focus. You feel fear? Use it to prepare. You feel sadness? Use it to reflect, not retreat. Because every emotion can either become your weapon or your weakness. That's the line you have to draw. That's the discipline you have to build. You feel, but you don't fold. Think of a boxer. He's standing in the ring, crowd screaming, opponent swinging. If he fights angry, he loses. If he lets emotion take the lead, he burns his energy, makes sloppy moves, and opens himself up to pain. But the calm fighter, the composed fighter, the one who feels but doesn't fold, he wins. He uses his emotion to fuel precision. He channels energy, not chaos. He fights with control, not impulse. That's the model for your life. You can live like the emotional fighter, wild, impulsive, reactive, or like the disciplined fighter, focused, aware, dangerous, in silence. You have a choice. Here's the truth. You don't lose to emotion. You lose to reaction. Anger doesn't destroy you. What you do with anger does. Fear doesn't stop you. What you believe about fear does. Emotion is raw power, but without control, it burns everything around it. So what do? You train it. You tame it. You learn to use emotion like fire. Too little, you're cold and lifeless. Too much, you burn down everything. Just enough, and you forge steel. That's the work. Learning to feel deeply, but act deliberately. Learning to listen to your emotions without letting them take over your decisions. Let's break it down. Anger. Use it. Don't obey it. When you're angry, it means something matters to you. But the answer isn't rage. It's redirection. Ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to teach me? Anger can become drive. It can become energy. It can become fuel for discipline. But only if you control it. Fear. It's not your enemy. Fear is a signal. It's your body saying, pay attention. You don't eliminate fear, you train it. You use fear as focus. You use fear as awareness. You feel the pressure and move anyway. That's courage, sadness. It's not weakness. It's reflection. It's emotion reminding you what's meaningful. But don't live in it. Learn from it. Turn the weight of sadness into wisdom. That's strength. You have to stop being scared of emotion. You have to stop letting emotion decide who you are. You are not your mood. You are not your thoughts. You are not your impulses. You are the one behind them. The one observing, interpreting, choosing. You have a choice. That's what separates you from chaos. You feel, but you don't fold. People who fold under emotion make decisions that cost them years. They quit jobs they should have kept. They say words they can't take back. They chase people they should have walked away from because they felt and folded. But when you learn to feel without folding, you become powerful. You become steady. You become untouchable. Because emotion no longer pulls you. It pushes you. That's emotional mastery. That's what it means to be dangerous in control. You don't suppress emotions. You channel them. You use them. It's not about denial. It's about direction. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about caring wisely. It's not about being numb. It's about being intentional. You don't need their permission to feel. You don't need to explain your emotions to anyone. You just need to understand them and command them. Because the person who understands their emotions controls the game. And the one who doesn't gets played by it. Emotional mastery is a skill. It's built, not born. You build it through awareness. You build it through restraint. You build it through repetition. When you feel the emotion rising, pause. Ask yourself 3 questions. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? What can I do with it that serves me? That's the process. That's how emotion becomes strategy. You train your feelings to report to your mind, not the other way around. You have to learn the art of emotional translation. Turn pain into purpose. Turn anger into focus. Turn fear into energy. Turn doubt into drive. That's mastery. You're not suppressing emotion, you're upgrading it. You're refining it. You're evolving it into power. You feel, but you don't fold. And that's how you stand out in a world of emotional reactors. Because the world doesn't respect emotional chaos. It exploits it. The media, marketing, manipulators, they all prey on emotion. They want you angry, distracted, impulsive. They want your buttons visible and easy to push. But when you master emotion, those buttons disappear. You stop being predictable. You stop being easy to manipulate. You stop being reactive. And you start being effective. You have to train that state until it becomes your default. No overreaction, no panic, no victim mindset, just calm, calculated execution. Because when you control emotion, you control direction. When you control direction, you control results. And when you control results, you control life. That's why emotional control is not about suppression. It's about precision. It's about choosing how, when, and where to release that power. And when you do that, people notice. You become unshakable. You become grounded. You become dangerously calm. You have a choice. Feel, but don't fold. Use emotion, but don't become it. That's the foundation of strength. That's how you win the battles inside your mind before they ever reach the outside world. The calm mind wins every battle. But calmness is impossible without emotional control. So stop treating emotion like a master and start treating it like an ally. Learn its language. Use its strength. Turn every feeling into fuel, because emotion is energy. And energy is neutral. It becomes whatever you direct it toward. That's the secret. That's the discipline. You feel, but you don't fold. You choose, but you don't chase. You decide, but you don't react. That's emotional precision. That's the essence of power. You've learned to treat emotion like a tool, not a chain. Now it's time to understand how others will try to use your emotion against you. You've gained awareness. Now you need defense. That's the rule. That's the game. And most people never see it. Every manipulator, every critic, every rival, they don't need to overpower you. They just need you emotional. They don't need to defeat your logic. They just need to destroy your focus. Because once you react, you hand them control. The reactive mind is the losing mind. That's the key. Your enemy isn't always a person. Sometimes it's pressure. Sometimes it's insecurity. Sometimes it's ego. But it all operates the same way. It tries to make you react. Because the moment you react, you stop thinking. You start bleeding energy. You lose awareness. You hand over your power. The reactive mind is the losing mind. Think about it. A manipulator doesn't come for your strength. They come for your attention. They don't fight your logic. They provoke your emotion. They win not by power, but by patience. They want you impulsive. They want you defensive. They want you loud. Because the louder you get, the less they have to do. You see it in arguments. You see it in social media. You see it in business. The calm one always wins. The emotional one always loses. The calm negotiator gets the deal. The reactive one gets played. Why? Because emotion clouds judgment. Emotion turns vision into tunnel vision. Emotion makes you forget what matters most. You have to remember this. The person who controls the pace controls the power. And emotion always accelerates the pace. That's why the world keeps trying to make you react. It's why people push your buttons. It's why manipulators guilt trip, critics insult, rivals provoke. They all want one thing, your reaction. Because your reaction is your energy. And your energy is your leverage. You have a choice. You can give them that energy, or you can keep it. You can feed the game, or you can break it. That's discipline. The reactive mind is the losing mind. Let me make this real. Imagine two people in a negotiation. One stays calm, speaks slowly, listens carefully. The other interrupts, defends, explains, pleads. Who wins? The calm one. Every time. Why? Because calmness signals power. It signals control. It signals confidence. The reactive one exposes weakness. Every word, every twitch, every overreaction tells the other side exactly where to push next. This isn't about pretending you don't care. It's about proving you're not controlled. You can care deeply and still stay composed. You can feel pressure and still stay poised. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals. It's not about talent. It's about temperament. You have to build the discipline to stay calm when it counts. You have to train your emotions to serve strategy, not sabotage it. The reactive mind is the losing mind. When someone disrespects you, your first impulse is to respond, defend, explain. Don't. Silence is stronger than reaction. Silence keeps them guessing. Silence keeps you in control. You don't need their validation. You don't need to prove your worth in conversation. You don't need to win arguments. You need to win outcomes. And outcomes are won by the one who stays composed. The reactive mind is the losing mind. Remember, your emotions are not instructions. They're just alerts. You decide what to do next. You decide how much energy a moment deserves. You decide whether something is worth your peace. You have that choice, always. But only if you pause long enough to see it. You lose that power when you're impulsive, when you speak before thinking, when you let your pride run the show. Because pride loves reaction, and reaction loves regret. Every impulsive text, every angry outburst, every "I'll show them." That's reaction talking. That's emotion hijacking your direction. You can't afford that. Not if you're serious about your goals. Not if you value your peace. Not if you want power. Real power is quiet. It's not desperate. It's not loud. It's not reactive. It's strategic. You have to learn to pause, to breathe, to think, to see the whole picture before making a move. That pause, that tiny space between stimulus and response, that's where power lives. That's where clarity lives. That's where you win. You don't win by being faster. You win by being smarter. You win by being colder. You win by being collected. That's emotional control. That's self-command. That's mental toughness in action. The reactive mind is the losing mind. Let people test you. Let them provoke you. Let them think they're getting under your skin. They're just showing you where your weaknesses used to be. Your job is to not play their game. Your job is to stay calm, focused, unbothered. Because every reaction they don't get starves them. Every silence you hold builds your strength. Every pause you take deepens your control. You don't need their permission to stay calm. You don't need their approval to stay focused. You don't need to explain your piece to anyone. They can only win if you play their game. So stop playing, detach, observe, respond, don't react. It's not about ego, it's about execution. It's not about showing emotion, it's about showing control. It's not about proving strength, it's about being strength. You have a choice. You always do. You can waste your energy reacting, or you can save it for results. You can let emotion run you, or you can run it. You can be the storm, or the stillness that outlasts it. That's your edge. That's your weapon. That's what separates power from panic, because once you master the art of non-reaction, you become unpredictable. And the unpredictable mind is untouchable. People can't manipulate what doesn't move. They can't provoke what doesn't react. They can't control what stays calm. That's how you win without fighting. That's how you dominate without words. That's how you protect your peace and multiply your strength. You have to train that discipline daily. Every insult, every challenge, every test, use it as practice. Breathe, pause, stay grounded. Remember this, the reactive mind is the losing mind. But the controlled mind, the disciplined mind, that's the mind that builds empires. You've learned to defend your peace from external provocation. Now it's time to take that control inward, to silence the internal noise that steals your focus. You mastered the external game. Now it's time to win the internal one. You lose power. You lose control. That's where most people fail, right there in the space between impulse and action. That tiny space determines everything. Your peace, your relationships, your decisions, your success. The strongest people in the world have one thing in common. They've mastered the pause, because the pause is power. The pause is where your strength lives. The pause is what separates reaction from response. Breathe, think, respond, win. That's the formula. That's the discipline. When you react fast, you lose precision. When you breathe first, you gain perspective. And perspective changes everything. You've been trained to move fast, to speak fast, to defend fast. But speed isn't always strength. Sometimes speed is self-destruction. You say things you regret. You make decisions that don't align. You let your emotions write checks your logic can't cash, and then you wonder why life feels chaotic. It's because you've forgotten how to pause, breathe, think, respond, win. That's the key. You have a choice every single time something challenges you. You can react from emotion or respond from power. That's the test. Someone disrespects you. Do you snap back? Or do you breathe and let your calmness do the talking? Someone disappoints you. Do you spiral into frustration? Or do you breathe, step back, and decide your next move with clarity? Someone provokes you. Do you fight for validation? Or do you breathe, stay silent, and keep your peace intact? Every time you pause, you take back control. Every time you breathe, you remind yourself that you are in command. You don't have to rush your words. You don't have to match their energy. You don't have to give chaos a reaction. You just have to breathe, think, respond, win. That's not just a quote. It's a way of living. It's how surgeons operate under pressure. It's how soldiers survive in chaos. It's how elite performers stay calm when everything's falling apart. They don't panic. They don't flinch. They breathe. Because when you breathe, you slow your thoughts. When you breathe, you create space to think. And when you think, you move with precision. That's real control, not noise, not emotion, not reaction. Control. When you're angry, your body speeds up, your heart races, your breath shortens, your judgment narrows. That's your biology trying to hijack your psychology, and if you let it, it will destroy your discipline. That's why you train your breath, because breathing is how you reset the system. It's how you pull yourself back from the edge. It's how you stay calm in the fire. You have to practice this. Not when you're calm, but when you're tested. Because that's when it matters. When someone cuts you off in traffic, breathe. When someone disrespects you publicly, breathe. When life throws you a punch you didn't see coming, breathe. That breath is not weakness. That breath is warfare. That breath is self-command. You're not running away. You're reloading. You're not backing down. You're backing up your focus. Because clarity is how you win battles. Breathe. Think. Respond. Win. You don't need to fix everything instantly. You don't need to react to everything that happens. You don't need to prove your strength through chaos. You prove it through calm. Real strength doesn't scream. It breathes. Real strength doesn't rush, it waits. Real strength doesn't react. It decides. That's emotional mastery. That's what separates the wise from the weak. You can't think clearly when you're drowning in emotion. You can't choose wisely when you're running on adrenaline. You have to pause. You have to breathe. It sounds simple, but it's not easy. Because your mind will want to fight. Your ego will want to win. Your pride will want to speak. But you have to choose silence. You have to choose stillness. You have to choose breath. You have to train yourself to say, I don't have to respond right now. I don't have to decide in anger. I don't have to match their chaos. That's maturity. That's control. That's evolution. You're not in a race to respond. You're in a race to stay composed. And that composure, that inner calm, is what gives you the edge. Think of it like this. When a fire breaks out, amateurs run around shouting. Professionals stay calm, assess, act with purpose. They breathe before they move. And that's why they survive. Your life is no different. Emotional fires happen daily. Someone insults you. Someone betrays you. Something doesn't go your way. You can panic or you can breathe. You can fight or you can focus. You can react or you can rise. Every time you breathe before you break, you win. You win the moment. You win the power. You win yourself. That's how you build emotional muscle. That's how you stay unshakable in the storm. That's how you grow into someone unrecognizable to your old self. And it starts with something as small, as simple, as sacred as one breath. One pause, one decision, one choice. Because that choice, to breathe instead of break, changes everything. So next time you feel that heat rising in your chest, stop. Next time your hands shake from anger, stop. Next time your ego tells you to react, stop. Breathe. Think, respond, win, because that's what warriors do. That's what leaders do. That's what disciplined people do. They don't crumble under pressure. They center themselves in it. They don't panic. They prepare. They don't react. They respond. That's mastery. That's emotional control. That's what you're becoming. Every time you pause, you strengthen your mind. Every time you breathe, you train your focus. Every time you respond instead of react, you rise above the chaos. That's the discipline of calm. That's the calm mind in motion. And once you master it, no one can shake you again, because life will always test you. It's not going to stop, but you don't need it to. You just need to breathe. You just need to think. You just need to respond. And then you win. Always. Breathe. Think. Respond. Win. You've learned how to breathe before you break. Now, it's time to take your emotional control one step deeper, beyond reaction, beyond emotion, into clarity itself. You've mastered the pause. Now, let's talk about what happens when you detach completely. Care. It's clarity. You've been told that to care is to suffer. That to love is to lose control. That to detach means to stop feeling. But that's wrong. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop bleeding. It means you stop being ruled by things you can't control. It means you finally see what's real and what's not. Detach to decide. Decide to dominate. That's the mindset. That's the discipline. That's how you stay powerful in a world built to pull you apart. See, emotional detachment is not about being numb. It's about being aware. It's about knowing that love without control becomes obsession. That care without boundaries becomes chaos. That connection without clarity becomes weakness. You can love deeply and still remain composed. You can care and still stay calm. You can be passionate and still be in command. That's emotional maturity. You have a choice. You can live in constant reaction, or you can choose stillness. You can let emotion drive you, or you can let discipline guide you. That's the difference between power and pain. Detach to decide. Decide to dominate. Look around. People are breaking down not because they feel too little, but because they attach too much. They attach their peace to people, their worth to approval, their mood to outcomes. And when those things shift, and they always do, they crumble. You can't live like that. You can't hand your peace to things outside your control. You can't make your happiness dependent on what someone else says, does, or feels. You have to detach. Not because you don't care, but because you care too much to lose yourself. That's the key. You can't save yourself and sacrifice your peace at the same time. You can't be everything to everyone and still stay grounded. You have to step back. You have to protect your energy like it's oxygen, because it is. Detach to decide. Decide to dominate. Think of the calmest people you know. They don't chase. They don't beg. They don't over-explain. They move with quiet certainty. You can't manipulate someone who's detached. You can't guilt someone who's centered. You can't provoke someone who's emotionally stable, because they've mastered distance. They've mastered restraint. They've mastered the art of letting things be what they are. That's what you must train. Start small. When someone says something that offends you, pause. Ask yourself, does this deserve my peace? Most of the time, the answer will be no. When something doesn't go your way, breathe. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, let it go. You have to stop giving energy to things that don't grow you. Stop arguing with people committed to misunderstanding you. Stop chasing situations that drain your focus. Stop trying to control outcomes you can't. That's not strength, it's surrender. And surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means accepting reality and acting with precision. Detach to decide. Decide to dominate. Detachment gives you options. When you're not emotionally tangled, you can see the game clearly. You can plan. You can observe. You can execute. Emotion clouds vision. Attachment blurs strategy. But detachment? Detachment sharpens your instincts. When you stop needing outcomes, you start creating them. When you stop chasing people, you start attracting the right ones. When you stop clinging to control, you start mastering yourself. You don't need to disconnect from the world, you just need to disconnect from desperation. You don't need to stop loving, you just need to stop losing yourself in love. You don't need to stop caring, you just need to care with boundaries, because the person who can walk away at any moment holds the power. Always. Detachment is not withdrawal, it's wisdom. It's seeing the truth without panic. It's staying calm when others lose their minds. It's choosing to act, not react. And that's a superpower. You don't need their permission to be calm. You don't need their understanding to step back. You don't need validation to protect your peace. You just need clarity. You just need focus. You just need the courage to let things unfold. Let people talk. Let circumstances shift. Let moments pass. Don't chase. Don't cling. Don't overthink. You can't dominate what you're desperate for. You can't control what you're emotionally chained to. That's why you detach, to regain leverage. It's not about being heartless. It's about being strategic. It's not about avoiding emotion. It's about managing it. It's not about rejecting connection. It's about respecting boundaries. Detach to decide. Decide to dominate. Because every great leader, every high performer, every grounded human you admire, they've mastered this. They don't let every opinion shake them. They don't let every loss define them. They don't let every win inflate them. They stay centered no matter the outcome. You must do the same. Detach from outcomes. Focus on effort. Detach from validation. Focus on discipline. Detach from ego. Focus on truth. That's how you stay unbreakable. When things go wrong, detach. When people disappoint you, detach. When success arrives, detach. Don't get drunk on highs or buried in lows. Stay steady, because steady wins. Steady sees. Steady decides, and decision is power. Decision is control. Decision is freedom. Detach to decide. Decide to dominate. This is your transformation. You're no longer moved by chaos. You're guided by clarity. You're no longer addicted to outcomes. You're loyal to the process. You're no longer begging for control. You've become control, and that's how you build peace that nothing can shake. Not failure, not betrayal, not loss. That's detachment. That's freedom. That's power. So the next time emotion tries to pull you under, pause. The next time attachment tries to own you, step back. The next time chaos tries to drag you in, breathe. Remind yourself, detach to decide. Decide to dominate, because that's how you rise above this world. That's how you stay calm while everyone else breaks. That's how you see clearly when others are blind with emotion. You've learned the art of detachment. You've built the discipline to let go. Now it's time to take that stillness and use it as strategy. You've learned to step back. Now learn to move forward with precision.